The last way of finding the area of a composite shape is if we have a combination of adding and subtracting. Okay, so sometimes we'll have kind of a combination in there that we have to add and subtract. Sometimes one thing will be added, one thing will be subtracted. And so we have to make sure that we are understanding what is there to add and subtract. So here's an example. We want to determine the area of the shaded region. You'll notice that we have this blue shaded region. Okay, on your page, it's going to be in grayscale because I don't print in color, but on here it is blue, so you can see that. We have this blue region here, which is a combination really of three different shapes. Okay, so the first shape that we can take a look at here, let's use black. Okay, is we have this triangle right here. Okay, so we'll break it into a triangle right there. We then have this rectangle right here, and we have this half circle which is being cut out. Okay, so we have this half circle which is being cut out. And if you want, we can kind of draw a line in here. It loses our radius line, but we understand that this has a radius of 20 centimeters. And so we can now solve for what is the area of the blue section right here. Now, I'm going to start with going down just a second and I'm going to go through this last little piece here. Sometimes measurements are not given, okay, as they can be assumed or calculated based on other measurements. So if we look at this question right here, we do not have the height of this rectangle. We do not have this piece of the triangle. We're given this entire length. We're told the radius of a circle. So we can use those to solve for the other pieces. Okay. When solving an area problem, okay, label all the measurements that are unseen to show your work. Okay, so when you're doing a problem like this, especially on like a weekly progress check, if you're going to do a problem like this, you'll have the page in front of you. If you're doing this in your notebook, it's maybe a little more difficult to draw them out and label it all, but please make sure to label and show all of the work that you have. All right, so what does that mean here? If we want to put in our measurements, I'm just going to change my size here. This side right here has a measurement of 40 centimeters. How do we know that? Well, if the radius of our circle is 20 centimeters, then the entire distance must be 40 centimeters. So this side is 40. That's going to apply to both our rectangle here as well as our triangle. The other one is what is the length of the triangle here, and that is 30 centimeters. Okay, because the top is 50 and the bottom is 80, so then the difference there is 30, so that must be 30. That means that this rectangle is 50 by 40, and it's 50 by 40. So label those in there, and now we kind of know a little bit more of what we have. All right, let's solve for our areas. Let's start with the triangle first. The triangle's right here. Okay, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Try this again. Base times height divided by 2. There we go. And so when we plug in our values, we're going to have our area is equal to 30 centimeters. There's our base. Times 40 centimeters, which is our height, and we're going to divide it by 2 because, well, we always divide it by 2. All right, when we do that, area is going to equal, again, you can use a calculator, 600 centimeters squared. There's our triangle. Okay, so that's our triangle. It's all blue. That means that we're just going to be adding it together with the other blue sections. Next thing that we'll do is we'll take a look at this rectangle. Okay, and the rectangle, again, this is area is equal to length times width. And so area is equal to 50 centimeters times 40 centimeters. And therefore our area is equal to 50 times 40 is 2,000 centimeters squared. Again, you'll notice I'm using the units and I'm being very particular about those units. Now, the rectangle is mostly blue, so that's why we're finding the area of the whole entire rectangle. And we need to now cut out this half circle. Okay, so we need to cut out that half circle because it is not a part of that. So we have our half circle. Okay. Half circle area is going to be pi times radius squared, and then we are going to divide by 2, okay, because it's a half circle. So we take our circle formula and we divide by 2. So area is equal to pi times our radius, and we're told that is 20 centimeters squared. And then we're going to divide by 2. So we are dividing, so we are first finding this, and then we are dividing by 2. Only the 20 centimeters is squared, not the pi. Okay, so let's remember that. Let's be careful for that. Pi times 20 squared divided by 2 is 628.32 centimeters squared. In fact, actually, this half circle is bigger than the triangle. Interesting fact. Now, to find our total area, we're going to have to now combine all these pieces. Some of them we're going to be combining. Let's try this again here. Our total area, some of them that we're going to be combining are going to be added. Other ones are going to be subtracted. Okay, so our triangle and our rectangle are going to be added together. So 600 centimeters squared plus 2,000 centimeters squared. And then our half circle is going to be subtracted, 628.32 centimeters squared. See if we can get that back onto. Oh, I guess we're going to keep it there. Okay. It's not wanting to get any bigger. That's okay. So there's our total area. Now, when we do that, okay, our total area, we're just going to add that together now. We have 600 plus 2,000 plus 2,000 minus 628.32. And this is 1971.68 centimeters squared. Okay, so there's our total area. So we find the area of each one, and then we add or subtract them depending on which one we are given. Okay, we add or subtract depending on which one we're given. There might even be like a shaded region inside of a cutout region. Okay, that's going to have to be added into the total shaded region as well. Questions 5 to 7 on your assignment. That'll finish off your assignment. Okay, there's a couple word problems or contextual problems in there, so make sure that you read through those and use the diagrams that are given for those as well.